Nice and sunny day today, so I was a little bit encouraged to go out. So I've let the birds out for 20 minutes so far now, so they should be back in within the next hour. So our pigeons been out for about an hour. Now some have already gone in, and the rest are still hanging around on the roof here. As you can see, we've got one here going into that trap. This is where they're used to. So this is going to be the widowhood cocks once we finish the breeding. And those cocks are trying to get in here is they've been trained to actually use that trap. So they would carry on going in there instead of using the other one with the longer platform or landing board. I've managed to cut down in size in terms of quantity of the birds that we have inside the loft, and we basically carefully chose the one that we want to keep based on their backgrounds or performances. We still have the birds. Some birds are out at the moment. We still have some birds that are currently flying at the moment, so it's quite good because all of these birds that are out at the moment, we are raising them in April anyway. So well, we don't know exactly how much we're gonna end up having, or will have left after all the training eventually and the races. So well, talking about losing birds, I mean, this grizzle here, it was actually chased by some sort of a hawk or peregrine maybe, I'm not sure, but right in front of my eyes yesterday. It didn't come back in until now really. So I saw it actually went hiding inside that pine tree, what you can see at the moment. And well, I'm only thinking that it just stayed there. It was really scared. It just stayed there for quite some time until the hawk had gone. The hawk actually continued chasing other birds, so I don't know which one we lost because I haven't really checked the ring numbers. I don't count how many birds I have now anyway. Right, the breeding section is now in full swing. So 90% of my breeders have got some eggs in their nest bowls at the moment. So I think we only have about 2 to 3 pairs that haven't actually produced any eggs yet, but they will be at some point, maybe in the next 10 days. Right, those ones are still flying at the moment. Still having a good time, just enjoying the lovely weather, clear sky and not so windy, not too cold as well. Yeah, 85% of those birds we already raised as young birds, so all of them birds are going to be raised in April. So I don't call the birds in now once they've been out flying, and purely for the reason that last year I wasn't always around when they come back from a race, because I was always working. So obviously my wife couldn't hang around anyway to wait for them and call them in. So they be coming from a race, and all I had to do is in the morning, just before I leave for work, I would set all the ETS and everything up, and my wife would just keep an eye on things. It tends to work because they were trapping quite good. And so, you know, what I tend to do now is I let the birds out exactly the same time of the day. Feeding is exactly the same time of the day. So I'm hoping that if they haven't really been overfed the night before, during the basketing or before the basketing, so hopefully they'll be kind of hungry enough and they know where the food is. So when they arrive from a race, then they'll go straight in. And to be honest to you, it worked well for me last time. So hopefully it'll do the same this year. We're not aiming for a big team this year. You know, so how I wish I have all the time in the world to actually do that. So we've got about 10 pairs here at the moment, and you know, with a bit of luck, if all the eggs are good and the breeding goes well, then we'll have about approximately 24 to 30 birds going. And you know, obviously taking into consideration that we will have some losses, even, you know, during the training season and so on. But yeah, that's all we can manage anyway. So we're breeding the ones that we know that's done well for us, and we basically got rid of the ones, you know, the breeders that didn't really do anything for us, to be honest. And so yeah, this is how it's set up at the moment, as you've seen. previously. It's nice and bright here, well ventilated, and it's very dry. So that's what we want. I don't clean the pigeon loft every single day like I used to, so I do it weekly now. Just having a quick glance at the breeders that we currently have here at the moment. So I don't really disturb them as much, to be honest. I used to go in every single day a lot and hold them and stroke them and so on, you know, but at the moment I tend to just leave them alone in peace, especially during breeding season because yeah, you know, I mean, sometimes I can't help it, you know, I mean, it's nice to hold a pigeon from time to time. Yeah, these two I've just paired. These two birds are from Simon Kennedy, and yeah, I've just paired them all up a couple of days ago. So they'll be producing eggs at some point very shortly as well. Same with these two. So it won't be long. When I do the next video, I'm sure that they'll have some eggs by then. So yeah, this is where we are at the moment. It's quite exciting. Breeding season is a very quite exciting you know, season for me, because you know, you're always looking forward to raising the young birds, and you don't exactly know how they're gonna do until the first day that you actually raise them. So yeah, obviously all the expectations and so on and so forth are there, but at the end of the day, so it's all about waiting game. I wish I had the luxury of a lot of time to train the birds, like some people do, but that's the way it goes, you know. I make do of the time that I have, which is very limited. So one day I'm hoping that I'll have more time spending with the birds, so I can train them better than I have been, because I know obviously, you know, a good bird is a no good bird if, you know, they're not trained properly. So yeah, like I said, the time is always against us, and that's what happens when you're working, you know, family time, work life balance, and obviously you have this racing pigeon as a hobby. It's a very complicated and a very hectic life. So but you know, I mean, I'll just carry on. I just carry on enjoying it. Like I said, I'm not keeping a lot of birds inside the loft at the moment, and I find it kind of like stress free and very easy to manage. Yeah, so all the birds are going in now. Like I said, you know, I don't call them in as such, but you know, I mean, after a few fly, what tends to happen to these birds is they just go in straight without even calling anyway. I mean, they've only been out like 2-3 times so far during winter. So after a while, once I've let them out same time every day, feed them same time every day, what they tend to do is after about 40 minutes approximately of flying time, they'll just go straight in, which is quite good. And that's how I want them to be, because like I said, I'm not always here. I might not always be here to call them in when they come back from a race. So here they are. This is the team that we're gonna be racing in April, and it's only about 4 cocks that are actually in the breeding section at the moment that we will be racing as well. So we don't have much. Probably I think it's around about 15 cocks that we're gonna race. I'm still thinking about maybe possibly racing the race hens, but we're gonna have a go for the first time to race these cocks as a widowhood on a widowhood system. This section here on the right side, on the far right side, as you can see, is very clean because it's been empty, so we're not using it at the moment. So this will be where the hens are gonna be once we finish the breeding, and the race hens are gonna be here as well. So yeah, this is as I said, plenty enough space for at least about 10 or possibly maximum, I would say, of 15 pigeons in here. You could possibly put some more, but I won't. Where we are is right behind us. It's basically the front of the loft, and we're gonna cut a hole, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do is we're gonna have an aviary there as well, as you can see. and an entrance or a trap for the for the hens. So that's where they're gonna be coming in and out at some point one day. So yeah, we've just waiting for them to finish breeding, and I think we're gonna separate the cocks and the hens from the middle section now at some point once we've done this front, so they can train separately. But at the moment they've been flying and going out together. So like these two have already paired. So what I tend to do, I prefer them to be training separately and such. Only because obviously they tend to hang around on the roof and you know what I mean, just flirt with each other. So we're gonna separate them at some point soon.